Hello YouTube. Today's video is about how to get the right investor for your film. Let's kick this off.
We're gonna shoot something really big.
Welcome. If you're new here, my name's LeMay, and this is the channel where we teach you how to build your filmmaking career and sell your original content. So I get a ton of emails asking me, how do I get money for my film? Well, there's a bigger and kind of more specific question to ask, and that is, how do I get the right investor and investment for my film? There are two kinds of money. There's good and there's bad. I'm gonna start with the bad. Bad money is, for example, your rich dentist uncle, right? It doesn't matter if that person can give you 60,000 bucks, 100,000 bucks for your film. You are still stuck with the same problem. You now have $60,000 to $100,000 in debt, even if it's 20, even if it's 5. You have that debt, and you still have the same problem. How are people gonna see my film? Right? So now you've got even more problems. You've actually bought pain, because now this rich dentist uncle is not simply giving you that money for, goodwill. And if they do, fair enough, you're still stuck with that problem. There is nowhere for your film to go. Good money is money that comes from a source that has impact on the industry. So that can be a lawyer, a film financier, film funding organizations, because they're gonna have mechanisms that are built to get your film in front of the right people that can actually write the check back to you and say, we're gonna buy your film for X amount of dollars. If the plan is, I just wanna get it made. I hear this all the time, and just wanting to get it made is like saying, I just wanna get by as a filmmaker. There's no such thing, right? Now you've made it, and you're still stuck with this same problem. I have no idea where this is gonna go. So we have to start asking ourselves, is the person giving me this money, do they have connections? Can they pick up the phone and get in touch with the right person? Can they introduce me to showrunners and talent? Can they bring me the assets that I'm gonna need in order to have the most impact on the market? Remember, just because you make it, you're not gonna get rewarded for your time and effort. You're not going to get rewarded for the amount of passion you had. You're going to get rewarded at the beginning, especially if you're a quote-unquote first-time filmmaker. And we'll explain in another video why people are rarely first-time filmmakers that get their films picked up. But can they build the team? That is what an executive producer is. As a showrunner, an executive producer, I am responsible for the money portion of this stuff, as well as the end product. Every aspect I think about is, what impact is this gonna have on the market, right? Is the market going to respond, and am I making things that actually have somewhere to go, or am I just making things with a dream? Because I watch the Hollywood dream of, I just wanna make my film, kill more projects than anything, because then you're stuck with this paperweight. If content is king, then distribution is the kingdom. And that's really all that matters. And what is distribution? It's about getting your film discovered by people, usually on the internet, and getting those people to commit to watching a big chunk of that. Because now distributors care about traction that you have, right? So the best way for you to get the right investor is to start pre-building impact on the internet, right? Start building that audience, start getting people to pay attention to you so that you're not just sitting at the table as somebody with a good idea. So one of the problems of having the film done and not having the right investor that is connected to the industry in the correct way is that you're kind of limited by where that film can go right out of the gate. So one of the things most filmmakers do is, I'm gonna make this film, I'm gonna get it into film festivals, and then the right person will see it, and then they'll buy it. Super low percentage chance, and very often filmmakers early in their career aren't getting to those film festivals that have a ton of buyers, or even any buyers attending them, that also saw the film. So it gets tough to be able to then have that post-production or that after-production impact on the market that gets your film bought, because that's, at the end of the day, the most powerful way to do it. Self-distribution is a whole other thing, and we can talk about that in another video, but the reality of it is getting your film into the right system of people, which usually that investor is somebody who is going to do that right at the beginning of the process. Your mom or your uncle or your cousin or somebody who can write you a check, they want to see you happy. And that's awesome. And so they don't really have an expectation of what they want back. However, an investor is going to want to do that. So that brings me to my next point. They're going to do due diligence on you. So have you treated people right moving forward in your career, where you're not going to have a bunch of people saying that you suck as a human, right? We want to be able to always treat people right in our filmmaking career, so that those bridges, I never try to burn a bridge. It's not to say it's never happened. Due diligence is something investors do all the time. They want to know who they're getting in bed with. If that person comes back as difficult to work with, or doesn't finish, or really, pisses people off all over the place, they're gonna have a tough time investing in you. So being able to manage your reputation, be sure that you leave people, whether you succeeded or not, in your film or in the project you were working with them on, that they're saying, it didn't really work out, but Alex is amazing, or so-and-so is amazing. That's where we want to leave them. The other is, what does that investor want, right? And I'll tell you, film investors don't want their money back. They don't even want 2 times their money back. They want 1,500 times their money back. Right? They're shooting for that big number. So the more money they put in, the more control they're gonna have, right? So be sure that that person, or that group of people, has your best interest in mind. You do not wanna get it. I got involved with a dude who gave us $2.5 million, but he was absolutely impossible. And really, the film did well. Just by brute force, right? $2.5 million is a lot of money, but the process was so hard, and distributors saw that. We finally got the right distributor. We finally got through that, but the amount of muck we had to wade through was really difficult. And the personalities that were involved were somebody who didn't understand the film industry and kind of took their business mindset from the field they were in, which was steel, and applied steel manufacturing to motion picture manufacturing, right? And they were the wrong person. We're very grateful for that investment, but it just ended up not being the right person. And so then we got $1.5 million from another group that was the right group of people. It was less money, but they were the right people. That ended up being a digital experience that we created that got bought by Sam Raimi and Josh Donnan at Sony Pictures. So it ended up being where those investors had a ton of impact. We were able to bring this film to the right people. We were able to bring it to the right festivals. We were able to be represented in the right way. And that ended up making it very successful, and we were really, really excited about that. So I learned that lesson the hard way. I took a big chunk of money from the wrong person, and the film did okay, and I took less money from the right person, and the film did great. So what I want to say in the end of that is be sure you're getting into bed with the right people. That's the most important thing, right? Building the right team. It's so hard to say no when somebody's willing to write you a check, but that's the other thing, is be willing to say no, because you're going to spend years making a movie, a single movie, from kind of conceiving it to getting it out into theaters or getting it out onto a digital platform. And if that amount, you'll never get that time back. And if that amount of time continually goes down the right road and you expect some kind of different results, you're gonna find out that it's really, really difficult to work in that environment and to get industry impact. Next, investors don't want to do this one single time with somebody. Investors want to get involved with people that are going to have longevity and can repeat a system, right? That say, we make films like this. They want to know that you at least have 3 films, because if the first one works out, then you get to ask for more on the second and third. If the first one goes south of cheese, you're kind of shit out of luck. But those investors want to be sure that they are getting involved with somebody who's going to be around tomorrow. They don't want to get involved with people that, and the same goes for distributors, right? They want to be sure that if you're making a web series, say, they want to be sure there's 3 seasons, not a half a season, not 1 season, right? Because it's more difficult to invest in a new person than it is to invest in somebody that you know. So developing that relationship on the first picture is super, super important. And remember, you have to be able to repeat that system, because you're gonna get good at making the kind of film that they invested in first, and they aren't going to want you to make something different. They aren't going to want you to take a risk. They're going to want you to make something that is in the same vein, that kind of repeats that system because it's winning. And from a business standpoint, that's what you want to do as a creator. So it is not always great to take Uncle Don's money. And in many ways, unless Uncle Don can build the right team, have industry impact, it's probably the wrong money, because then you are stuck with a big albatross around your neck that has nowhere to go. I know this sounds kind of disheartening, that, hey, you know, I just want to make stuff. But just making it is such a small part of what we do. It's actually getting other people to see it that is our real job. So if you liked this video, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and smash the notification button so that you are notified of upcoming videos. I'm so glad you're here, and I can't wait to see you in the next one, and I'm talking to you.